You're lashing out with maximum exposure. We're getting our kitty up a tree, then putting on our rescue gear. Horsey went giddy up. Now he just wants to giddy down. Finally, hot elephant mud wrestling action. A no 2-drink minimum. Max X Fish Stories. Here's the whale that got away. Bambi makes a jailbreak and only gets this far. Who let the lizards out? Woo, woo, woo. Sinks get backed up in Florida, and here's the clock. And for this rat, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. Who doesn't love puppies? This 30-foot bite for one. Some cats just need a little TLC. Sometimes a whole lot more. Your little varmint in trouble? Don't worry. Max X is dialing Critter 911. We do lots of things with animals. Sometimes we eat them. Sometimes we wear them. But sometimes they need our help. And that's when we dial Critter 911. Like this horse, Tuffy. She was out with her owner when she got spooked by a mule. The rider bailed, and Tuffy's feet slipped through the train trestle. Now she's hanging 20 feet above the creek. And she really needs the 911. She's not just freaked out, she's suffocating. The rescue folks cut off her saddle to help her breathe. They try a winch to raise her, but it folds like a 30-to-1 shot in the mud. They try everything, and just when you think Tuffy's off to the glue factory, the rope breaks. Check this out in slow motion. Tuffy's fallen head first, but that snag tosses her over on her side. Tuffy's okay now, but sometimes her friends like to freak her out by yelling, "Train!" Oh, that's just wrong. Ever drink a glass of water and wonder why it tastes so much like elephant? Well, here's why. This little dude fell into a well, and now it's a mud pit. That's when Conrad Brain moves in. He's the vet in this here national park. It's not his first animal rescue.
We've done it a few times before, so we have a rough idea what we need to do it, but every situation is different.
First thing the Brain does is get everyone throwing dirt in the pit.
Got to get it into this mud to try and solidify the mud, give the elephant a bit of a footing.
Little Jumbo's been in there for over 20 hours. Now he's just trying to keep his trunk out so he don't drown.
So it must be pretty tight already. We're going to have to really be quite quick.
Next move, they toss in a huge belt. Maybe Louis Anderson's, we don't know.
Try and get him to grip that belting with his trunk. Put that belting in front of him so he can grip it and get some resistance. Pull it. He's going to pull it. Hold on, hold on. I think he's beginning to realize that we have to help him now. He's losing it. No, got to get the rope.
Now they go back door on the elephant, using the rope to pull him out.
Okay, he's going to work with us, and we're going to try and pull him out the chute. Hold.
This time it works. We don't know what the muddy dude's gonna tell the herd when he gets back. Probably just say he was at Woodstock. Okay, here's one more reason why people suck. This whale's trying to meet up with his homies in Alaska. He ain't gonna make it, though. Not with all that fishing net around his tail. But luckily, Peter Howarth's out today. He's with the Marine Mammal Center, and he's got a plan.
Now, he is tangled in a gill net. He's got a lot of gear on him, so we're going to make some more floats fast, get him really hamstrung here, and then cut him out.
They gotta get him to stop swimming first, so they attach a couple of buoys to slow him down.
We're just trying to get a little control. It's kind of like grabbing a bull by the tail and running around the bullpen with him or something.
2 buoys ain't cutting it, so they take it up to 5. That does the trick. And now these divers can get a better look-see.
Got a big grappling anchor on him.
Oh. Somebody tried to get him?
Right against his tail. I can start cutting right here.
So they go back for the knives. Now real diver dudes stick the knife in their teeth. But this guy in the camouflage ain't seen those movies. Oh well. It takes 20 minutes to cut, but they finally get him out. And there he goes. Quick Max X quiz. Who made this squeal of glee? This dude or this dude? It was actually this dude. Yep, we're closer to the animals than you think. We're in Utah, and those aren't the sounds of a joyful bigamist. They belong to this little guy. He got caught in more than some headlights. Let's hear what the dude filming this has to say.
When I approached the deer with my camera, I didn't know what to do. I don't know what was happening, but he just started bucking, and fur was flying off the deer. It looked like he was doing some internal damage to his body. I didn't know, I was just kind of almost in a panic what I should do, so I put my hand out, tried to calm it down. I couldn't. I tried talking to it.
Cameron moves in to help and passes the camera to his kid brother.
My brother, Cameron Earl, and Matt Sovereign pinned the deer down so that it wasn't going to jump all over the place, and they did a pretty good job. That deer was pretty strong, so it took 2 of them to get him down.
The deer's waking up the whole area, so now everyone's out trying to help. Quick Max X quiz. Is that the sound of this deer? Or is Fran Drescher visiting Utah?
With an effort of two or three people in the front, 2 people in the back, we tried to lift and push. And it might have worked in the first 10 seconds it was in the fence, but it got so bloated so quickly, there was no way it was going back now.
It's bloated. It's totally bloated. Just call it grit.
Get a hacksaw, dude. You have to get a saw.
Yeah, get a shirt, dude. It's like 30 degrees out. This guy comes through with the saw, and they start hacking.
All right, don't get too proud. Pull straight, pull straight, pull straight.
And after about an hour, Bambi is out of there.
Yes, little buddy.
Just an amazing amount of joy that came over us. Just this freeing a deer. I mean, we're all city boys, and we don't even ever see deer, and let alone right next to a deer and touching it. And so, just amazing. Just a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to get that out.
Another kumbaya moment on Max X.
Yes, little buddy.
Maximum exposure. Squeal like a pig. Coming up, this lady's house gets a bad case of the cats. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Oh, wait, it's just San Jose. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, sorry, that line sucks, but it's actually a pretty cool story. The Florida Public Works Department. Why the turnover's so high. Victoria's Secret? She's afraid of rats. Don't tell anyone. Water tires out any critter. Now this beaver's shot. But that ain't all the danger we got. Check out our super endangered critters Max X list. Maximum exposure. Now gentler with a hint of musk. Maximum exposure. Check out our opposable thumbs.
I'm not very happy.
What's got this woman down today? See if you can guess. A, she's out of pork rinds. B, her cable's on the blink. C, there's a kitty in her pipes. We ain't ruling out A or B, but today we know the answer's C. Yep, Mary Bauer heard the meowing, and now she's got firemen scoping it out.
This morning, I went up to clean the vent pipe out and stick the hose down there and flush it out. And when I did, that's when they started meowing.
It just ain't budging. So it's time to bring in the kitty removal system. Yeah, it's getting pretty involved. This dude even breaks out a stethoscope.
All right.
But the firemen finally get their kitty. Or do they?
Say frog. Oh my.
It was a frog!
Yep, a Cuban tree frog with the voice of a cat. We just know Castro's behind this somehow.
It was a frog.
It's a frog.
Oh, and Mary, that little house call is going to cost you about $2,500. No joke.
Not very happy. Oh, well.
Cat stuck in tree. Fireman called to the rescue, right? Get out of here with that. This is a Max X rescue. We're going after this bad boy. We're calling that a monitor lizard. And it's one of the neighbor's exotic pets.
If I pick him up, he may be stronger than, might need 2 people.
Yeah, animal control's even scratching their heads over this one. And the neighbors are going nuts.
Oh, yeah, kept the doors locked, kept the pets in. People have been keeping their little kids in.
But Jennifer Judkin's got a handle on things. She's real handy with that leash thingy.
I know. There we go. Good, I'm going to come down to this.
Go ahead, back up.
Hold on, Pumpkin. Look out, here it comes. Hi, baby.
The lizard drops, and after a minor freakout, they scoop him up.
So he was giving me the reaction that he was afraid, that he didn't want to be bothered, he wanted to stay in the tree, and that he just didn't want to be handled.
The job gets hairy sometimes, but Jen don't mind. She loves all sorts of critters. Critters need 911 in Australia, too. Only there they dial 116. Like this baby kangaroo. Yep, no matter where you go, mud's still a drag. But this cop and this kid are here to help. And they make like a chain to free him up. It works. But when Officer Jim sends him on his way, the little dude heads for deep water. Now, we don't know what this thing does, but we're thinking it could make ground kangaroo real easy.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not.
Human guys swim over and catch him. And try setting him straight again. But this ruse a little thick. So Officer Jim's just gonna put this critter on land himself. Now that ought to do it. Oh, man! This kangaroo just ain't getting it. Good thing Officer Jim's got a lot of patience. He takes him up the hill one more time. And this time he's a-hopping his way back to town. But they better keep an eye on that one. You're getting goosed, in a good way, on Maximum Exposure. Coming up, hyper dog's hypothermia and a dramatic rescue. These penguins strike oil, but they ain't too happy. See you later, alligator, like at the leather store. We finally get around to that spring cleaning at the Max X home office. Proof that cats are smarter than dogs. Yeah, right. And if that don't make your code blue, stand back and watch our Max X list. Max X, clearing up your chronic angina. You're at the top of the food chain with Max X. Now get out your hankies. These two pooches are buds in Minnesota. The dry one's Tika. The wet one's Pele. Fire guy's going to rescue mode. That's Dave Worstman in the survival suit.
If the weather that day was really cold, the wind chill was probably 30, 35 below. Definitely the dog was in trouble. He wasn't moving around a whole lot. We knew we had to hurry and get out there and get the dog.
Dave tries beating a path to the dog, but it's slow going. At this rate, Pele's going to be a popsicle by the time he gets there.
Dave, yeah. We're going to pull you back into open water. We're going to have you come around from the open side.
Tika's bumming, and she lets everyone know it.
Oh, it hits home. Everybody that has a dog thinks of their dogs like family. So it really put us into probably high gear, knowing that there's another dog out there and there was something, something that we could do.
Dave takes a different path to Pele, and this time he nabs him.
I grabbed the dog by the scruff of the neck, and a normal dog would probably yelp, and that dog was just happy that someone was holding on to him.
They cover up Pele and get him to the vat. But now, what about Tika? She still thinks Pele's in the ice, and she ain't leaving her buddy.
Are we trying to go get him?
I think that Tika thought Pele had gone under and was staying there and waiting for her buddy to come back.
Lucky these Minnesota folks were taking a stroll in minus 35-degree weather. Firefighters get him to call Tika over.
Can you call that dog?
So she went away from us instead of towards us. But it didn't matter because she was off the ice.
Tika and Pele were both okay. And if you think them dogs are happy, check out their owner.
I was kind of shocked by the whole thing. I guess it was like a real slap that how close we came to losing Pele. It was a wake-up call, to say the least. My heart just went out to Dave. I told him how grateful I was and that how much it meant to us and that it was probably one of the nicest things that anybody had ever done for our family. And Pele is a pretty special guy to me. I've always loved dogs since I was a little kid. He's one of my best friends.
Chris takes Tika and Pele down to thank Dave. Yeah, that's Pele on a better hair day.
He's one of my best friends.
We just love a happy critter ending. Nobody's exactly sure where this oil's coming from, but one thing's sure. It's killing these penguins. But these birds got this dude on their side. Jose Trudeau Palazzo, a Brazilian environmentalist.
Well, this animal is not that bad. He only has an oil patch in the breast, but we'll take it to the rescue center anyways.
He's been rescuing these little guys for 9 years.
See, this one is in real bad shape. It's totally covered with oil. You see, this is an animal in distress, and it gets real desperate. And he doesn't know that we're trying to help. But if we didn't rescue him, he would die in the beach like many thousands of other animals we're seeing here. I hope it's not too late for this one.
Us too, Jose. And it ain't just the penguins taking it. Here's a dead seal. Do people really clog the beaches with toxic petroleum? People do. Jose takes his pals here. It's sort of a penguin rehab. Takes a couple baths to get all the oil out. And they usually hang for 2 weeks or so.
You see, this animal here is very active, and he can stand up by himself. So he's one of the animals that is ready for being released today.
The cleaned up penguins get set free 30 miles away from the oil spills. This rock's where a lot of penguins breed. It's like a penguin meat market, and we hear the breeding's easy. Jose gets 80% of these critters back on their feet. Pretty good average.
These animals went a long way from the day they were rescued on the beach, completely covered with oil. And we hope that by seeing what we do to take these animals back to the wild, people will learn to respect at least a little bit more the ocean environment.
You go, Jose. When critters call 911, you answer. What's got this Florida town all bent out of shape? How about a 250-pound gator? He looks pretty heinous. But even the nasty critters need rescuing, too. That's when you call Joe Borelli. Now, most old dudes go to Florida to retire and become bitter. Not Joey. He came to kick some serious alligator tail. First, he controls them with this hook deal. Then his son, Joe Jr., helps. That's him in the hole. Nice family business, huh? Then they drag him out. All 9 feet of him. Junior takes it from here. He blinds him up good, then tapes his mouth shut.
It's always a good feeling when we remove a large alligator like that out of an area like that.
Big gator, all right. Takes a winch to load this bad boy in. And he's set free in the wild.
Well, they told me where the alligator was, and I had to go and look for him. You know, play it by ear.
Yeah, whatever, Joe. You just stick to that trapping. 'Cause you are Gator 911. Max Axe, agitating the savage beast. Coming up, we find stuff that doesn't look good in a turtleneck, like fish hooks and fishing line. Open up and say, "Aww!" Baby tiger gets brought back to life. And the top 5 places not to store cheese. Here's a peek at number 3. Believe it or not, this dude's not even a cat person. Then we'll all hold hands and have a good cry during our Max X list. Maximum exposure. We do animals right. You're getting your turtle waxed on maximum exposure. Sometimes critters gotta dial 911 underwater. Usually 'cause some bonehead fisherman leaves his nets out. Happens all the time in Hawaii. And now these sea turtles are dying.
That line broke off and wrapped it all around it completely. This is 4 turtles. 4 turtles in the space of 3 weeks that we have found. 4. Just us, 1 company, 4 turtles.
Who knows how many other creatures were killed because of the plastic and the tires and the line and everything else that's around here. It's just really upsetting.
Ken Nichols and Joe Guarino are turtle rescuers. That's Ken with the sweet tats on his arm. And Joe even calls himself Turtle Joe.
I guess since I've been a little kid, I've always, cared about animals, and I worked at a zoo and would take sick animals home and try and nurse them back to health. And I don't know, it's just kind of something that I do.
Joe and Ken find a turtle with a hook through its neck and fishing line around its fin. They bring him on board and start working on him. It's going good for the turtle, but now Joe's got a problem.
Almost as soon as I got him out of the water, I started to notice, pain in my back.
All that going up to the surface and down to the bottom again gives Joe decompression sickness. It's also called the bends, and it can kill you. Now Joe has to sit in his hyperbaric chamber for 8 hours to equalize the nitrogen level in his blood. Ken visits Turtle Joe, and it looks like he's gonna be fine.
Hey, I'll be here when you get out, all right? Okay, man.
2 days later, Turtle Joe's at it again, saving the critters. And he's got a message for all of us.
There are things that we all can do through awareness, and every turtle that we've gotten in the past 5 weeks has had some sort of fishing hook through its neck, fishing line around its fin. I mean, maybe if the fishermen knew the damage that they were doing, maybe they would be a little bit more cautious.
Max X editorial. Yep, he's right. Believe it or not, we're in Arkansas. It's the Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. And they got over 90 lions and tigers. Oh, my. Those are the Jacksons. Hilda and Don, who run the nonprofit joint. So what's the 911? Inside that den, a Siberian tiger just gave birth. But the new mama's ignoring the cub. Hilda ain't happy. Mom or no mom, the little dude's not gonna last long in the cold. So here's the plan. Draw Mom out with some raw meat. Close off the front door. Then sneak in the side here to rescue Junior. Hilda grabs him, but he ain't breathing. They clean him up, put him by the heater, and even give him mouth-to-mouth.
Yay. Oh,
and we've got a pulse.
All right. God, it's like music to your ear.
When he first made that little breath of air, that was the grandest feeling in the world. And when he started growling and you could tell that he was breathing, you could see him breathing again, that was the most wonderful feeling that you'll ever feel.
That's one more critter saved on Max X. Okay, picture this. It's New Year's Day, and you're in Canada. Oh, wait, it gets worse. You're in Canada, and you're a Dalmatian puppy, and you've fallen 30 feet down this pipe. That's the sitch for Duke. The Bowman family's 7-week-old pup. The fire crew's already on the scene, but they ain't having much luck.
The problem is seeing the dog. It's so foggy down there because it's so deep, as well as trying to snare the dog. You can't see. It's a shot in the dark right now.
That hole's only 6 inches wide, so the crew's got to rig a special pup catching pole. They come up empty. And now Pam Bowman's falling apart. Duke's a Christmas present from Mom and Dad. 6 hours go by, and no Duke. Mama Bowman hangs out with Peanut, Duke's sister.
It's the most horrible thing in the world to watch.
Somehow, they get a hold of Duke's tail. And now they're pulling him up.
Cover the hole up as soon as he's out. Okay. Hey, take the wire off him. Take the wire off him. Get that hole covered up. Wire cutter. Who's got wire cutter? Got him.
A couple days later, and Duke's back to peeing on the carpet. The Bowmans bring Duke to the fire station to say thanks.
I thought you were a goner.
Yep, there's nothing like rescuing a critter. Especially when it's as cute as this one. we got you all gooeyed up. Take this. Hey, let's see that again. Slower and screamier. Hard to say who should be freaked out more. We're thinking this little dude's gonna need some serious therapy. That's some serious maximum exposure there. You're getting strapped to the hood on maximum exposure. Coming up, Kitty suffers smoke inhalation, then suffers fireman inhalation. Tough day. Curiosity kills the cat. Stupidity just gets it stuck for a few hours. This river goes a little hard on the beaver. Then check out some creature discomfort on our Critter 911 Max X list. We're Max X. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You're rattling your cage to Max X. You know, a trailer park's just not a trailer park without a weekly disaster. This week's disaster? Fire. Yeah, it charred this trailer right crispy. People got out okay, but they forgot their kitties. When firemen got there, one of them wasn't breathing. Luckily, fire dude Lenny Rouse is a hero. He starts right in with a mouth-to-mouth.
Basically what we did is give him mouth-to-mouth, and we administered oxygen by a nose cannula right from the oxygen bottle. And then I would take over and blow the air down into the kitten's lungs and push it back out manually with my hand on the lower abdomen. And pretty soon the kitten started responding to that. And then I'd turn them over and try and stimulate them by scratching their spine with my fingernails and that, aggravating them to get some kind of a reaction. And it seemed like it worked.
Lenny gets rewarded with tons of fan mail. The kitties get their mama back.
I hope that I've done some larger things in my career, and I know that I have, but there are things that firefighters do and are expected to do.
Lenny gets to keep one of the kitties as a reward. He chooses this little dude and names him Smudge. Aww. Grab your socks and break out the Crisco. That's what these folks are trying to do with their cat socks. He got his head stuck in a knothole. Now, Carol O'Race here is suggesting some lubrication.
John, you want me to get some Crisco? That's the way we used to get people's heads out of things.
Yep. Says right here on the side of the can. Been getting O'Race family heads out of things since 1892. And now it's Sox's turn. They grease him up. And even use a power drill. An hour later, Sox is done. Fried up right tasty. No, we're just kidding. He's out of the hole. But he's on lockdown for a while. When Max X goes on beaver patrol, we rarely come back disappointed. There's one now, stuck in a storm drain, and the current's way too fast. That beaver's getting wetter by the minute. That's when some human dudes bring in a backhoe. They scoop him up and drop him on dry land. Yep, thanks to that hoe, our beaver survived a close shave. Crack open that allergy medication. You'll practically molt over our primal Max X list. You're Freeing Willie on Max X. And here's that Max X list you ordered. Number 3. We go to South Africa. This rhino may look like he's loving life, but bad news. The national park he's in ain't got no water left. That's why these dudes have to airlift him and his rhino buddies out of there.
We'll be establishing another breeding population elsewhere. In this particular case, it'll be Zimbabwe.
It takes a couple of helicopters, a few nets, and lots of tranquilizer darts.
We're using this big machine here, mainly because of the rough terrain. We can't use vehicles, and we're going to be airlifting these animals out.
After about an hour, the choppers spot a couple rhinos. Rescue dudes dart them with some rhino roofies, and they go down in no time. Rescuers lay out their net, and now they got to get Sleeping Beauty into it. Takes teamwork. Now they got to bring the rhino back to where they started. They've got trucks there that are going to drive this guy to his new home. But first, Dr. Cooper's going to slip the rhino a little something extra for the ride. Now they cut the rhino's horn off, which makes him worthless to poachers. When he comes to, they load him into the truck. Now there's a caravan of rhinos heading to their new home. This rhino may not be as horny as before, but he's anxious to check out his new breeding ground. Yeah, check her out. Uh-huh. We think he's gonna like Zimbabwe just fine.
If you feel you are doing something for conservation, it's very nice when you establish another population, and I think the reward often just comes in just successfully getting these animals out of difficult areas like this and seeing them on their way to a new home.
Thanks, Dr. Cooper. You just keep saving those rhinos. Checking in at number 2 on the Max X list. This boat springs a leak off the coast of New Zealand. Now it's down under for good. A chopper rescue unit arrives. The targets? This former boat owner and his wife. So why is this a Critter 911? Oh, there's why. That's Priscilla the dog. And she's in a boatload of trouble. Mrs. Boat Owner gets scooped up first. Priscilla's still holding on. If it wasn't the poop deck before, you can bet it is now. Mr. Boat Owner's next. Sorry, Priscilla. Women and children first, then dudes, then dogs, then cats, then mimes. Rescue guy Alex Stewart goes back a third time. That dog's been treading water a long time, so he better get moving. Alex grabs Priscilla, and the two get hoisted up to the chopper. He talks about his decision to risk his life for Priscilla.
But I'll do it again, though, especially a little dog like that one, because I've got a dog, and dog lovers the world over, aren't we? Really touches the heart.
Yeah, we didn't get that either, but we think he said something like he's got a dog, too, or I don't know, something. How about Priscilla's owner?
Well, that's just really magic.
Yeah?
But I couldn't see until he came back with the dog that I realised that he did have her, so it was perfect.
We think she said she's got a dog, too, or something. Aren't they supposed to speak English down there? We do know this, though. That Critter 911 is Max X good. And topping the Max X Critter Rescue list, let's meet the players. There's this big mama. Then there's Ron and Valerie Taylor. We're thinking the shark's picking up the scent of Ron's sweet mutton chops. Ron and Valerie are taking pictures from this shark cage. And by the looks of it, they might need some rescuing pretty soon. But it's the other way around. Sharky takes a bite out of the cable holding the cage. Then she gets all tangled in it. How'd it go down, Ron?
The shark came over the top of the wire and felt something rub on its stomach and gave a big twist and tangle itself. And of course, when the shark became tangled, it just went crazy. It was just thrashing around and pulling the cage with Valerie and I inside being battered.
If a shark can't swim, it can't breathe. After 30 minutes, the shark gives up. Look at that beast. That's a 20-footer easy. Now, we don't got many rules at Max X, but one of them is stay inside a shark cage. Ron and Valerie are going to save this cutie. They tow him over to a reef to have a better look. Yeah, I bet this dude's thrilled about that. They know they might attract more sharks, but Valerie doesn't care.
The shark was very sick, and Ron opened and shut her mouth and let the waves break in through her mouth and out her gills to give her some oxygen.
Ron gets it untangled, and they walk it back into deeper water.
And we pushed it out into deeper water and let it go, and we were ecstatic because the shark actually swam away. It was a great sense of achievement to rescue a potentially deadly shark and see it swim away so strongly.
Maximum exposure. We got the 411 on Critter 911. We're